him introducing it.
Hello everyone and welcome back to LSR, and we bring you here into round 8, which is as we come into the Barcelona in Spain. I'm here accompanied by, sorry, oh man, I can't say the word, but if my co-commentator can introduce himself, since I can't do it.
It's alright, man. How are you doing, Brian?
I'm doing very well.
Good.
Excited to see what these guys can bring for us. Stanley is in it's rain.
There's a lot of rain, most definitely. Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, I'm the co-commentator tonight at King's Home, also known as Joe, and I'm streaming on my YouTube channel as well. I will put a link in the description if anyone's watching on LGE for the LSR YouTube channel. Make sure to give them a subscribe. As you said, Brian, loads of rain, so that's going to make it interesting. Depends on what it's like in the Grand Prix, determining on their setups for the race.
Yeah, I mean, with the rain, it should be should shake up the grid a little bit, you know.
Well,
With some drivers, you know, they can go for, now they don't have to think about alternative strategy, as they can, well, they can think about it as, you know, they'll have free tire choice in the race if it is wet. You know, they can choose to go on whatever tire they want. But yeah, I mean, right now Stanley is in the championship lead by 76 points. Forsan with 70 points right behind. Seaswit with 65 points. Flying Jippa with 54, and Formula Jonah with 50. So they're all pretty close together. You know, it's a lot of stake here, as only less than 20 points separate the top 5, and Red Bull currently leading with 139 points, and Williams right behind him with 102 points.
certainly very close in that championship. Just watching Mr. Chicken, Brian, on his outlap, the first driver on a outlap, and the conditions very treacherous. You see him doing a bit of a drift there.
I can't see anything in the camera.
So I think we should probably stay on board with him for a lap here, and then he's got the back end out at the final corner. Invalidated his lap time, and will invalidate this next one. No, it doesn't actually. He got away with that one.
Yeah, so we'll see what he will set. A couple drivers on the inters and some on the wets. So we will see here what which tires is the better one. I mean, there's quite a lot of seagulls. Ooh, the chicken goes wide into there. Keeps it valid, but as we have oh, never mind, not a spinner. It's people slowing down, but you can see here McChicken being very careful in the first lap, but you can see on the track there's quite a bit of puddles as he goes trying to go offline to try and keep some tire temps. Set the tires. Pretty good time. I'm not sure what the times here in the wets are, or should be.
Probably, I'm going to say about a 150. I'm going to say something like.
No, too much. Ooh,
sorry, 150. Sorry, I was thinking 150. Yeah, and he cuts the penultimate corner there, and now spins out.
Oh my god!
At the final.
He's lucky to not kind of hit the wall there at the pit entry. Take him out of there. Pretty quick.
So Brian, who looks like the next man that will come across the line? Maybe the
Looks like
McLaren?
Perry will be the next one to cross the line. He is on the inters, and Allen is going to be the second driver to put a lap in. As he goes to 29.3. Allen on the Alfa Romeo on the wet what he put is a 29.8. So either that's a very good lap by Perry or not a good lap by Alien or just the wets aren't good, and we have just gotten confirmation that inters are better. By Morgan's YouTube who has put a 28.6. He's already in the 128.
It's rather surprising as well, Barry. I have to admit, with these conditions, it really does look like it should be wet tyres rather than intermediates, but...
No, it doesn't look like it. It seems like it's drying up a bit still. Might have been wet at the start of the qualifying, but I think with drivers putting in some laps, they kind of clear the standing water out of the way.
Yeah, with, potentially. So we're seeing Volocchio around turn 5. I've got an Alpine just ahead of him. But this, as I said, this track does look like it's starting to dry up. Will it dry up enough for the end of qualifying for them to potentially get on a soft run? Maybe, probably not. But it can dry up really rather fast. Is Apex Finley takes provisional pole there, Brian?
Yeah, it puts a pretty nice lap on the inters, so it does look like the inters are the faster tires here in qualifying right now. But already into the 128, only 2 drivers so far though. But I mean, some drivers are still continuing on laps as it is the better thing to do, I think. I mean, you don't really have to worry about ERS as, it kind of charges up quite a bit, so I usually here in the wets, I like to load up fuel for quite some laps. Get the hang of it, and as you put more laps as the chicken there has connected and standing sideways on the track. Oh, never mind.
He's got
Lost his front wing.
He's got himself going again though.
Yep.
I think we've got.
It's gonna be a painful ride back to the pits though. So, where we have Veloci, who is on another lap. Coming in through the turns here. In this track. He's going to round off turn sector 2 real quick here. What is his time going to be? That's a 2/10 up his time. So it's pretty good. This way, and the first driver to get into the 27 with 27.8. So as you can see, the track is definitely drying up more.
Yeah, it is, and we're not even halfway through qualifying yet.
Yeah, and already some pretty good time. I believe here I did do a race a couple of weeks ago here in Spain, and it was a wet qualifying, and I got pole position. I think with 20, somewhere in the low 20s, I would say. So you should see that. Should see the time go down by quite a bit here if it does drive.
I've seen quite a few drivers invalidate their lap time. Still not had 4 drivers complete a lap yet without invalidating.
Latte with a purple setter 1. His third lap here. As you can see, you can still go improve quite a lot here in the wets by just doing continuous lap. We'll stick with him for this lap to see what he will have. He does have a bit of traffic up ahead. It doesn't get out of the way pretty nicely. You're out of the hairpin. Pretty good on exit. See, very careful on the throttle.
So this definitely looks like it's going to be a better lap, Brian. As he comes across the line, he
Ooh,
invalidated though out of the
he
final
has
corner,
invalidated. But
and
he is three
invalidated.
tenths up on his time.
So that would
He
have put
was
him.
3 tenths up on that time, but has invalidated. So unlucky for Vlache. Here we have Perry. Should be nope. I think Brent is going to
Yeah,
be the next one to cross the line.
he has invalidated
Repeat set.
quite a few times in this session.
Ooh, and Blaine gets a 5-second grid penalty for collision into his teammate. Ooh, and that is not what you want to see. As you can see, Perry was on a lap, and now he has a broken wing. Ooh, Blaine was on an out lap too, so not what you want to see. But Brent goes up to into P5 with a 28.9. That is about a second slower than Seaswood, so Seaswood with a very good time is the only driver so far to get in the 127s. Ooh, and Brent has spun. So you can see the conditions are still pretty bad as he's trying to drift his way back into it. So far, Elian is the only driver to be staying out on the wets, as Perry has retired from the session. Ooh. Looks like he has crashed out with Crooner. Oh no. It was seems like it was into the pit entry here. And Crooner has spun too. Ooh.
That was really embarrassing. I just had my mic on mute, but I didn't even realise. As Mr. Chicken, he's not set a lap yet. Brian, he has got the Red Bull. It looks ahead of him of Robin.
Yeah, so Robin is also on a lap, so.
And Mr. Chicken's
Can't give him his.
invalidated.
Yeah, the Chicken really struggling here in the wet condition. Apex was going to cross the line with sets pole position with a 27.7. Wow. Goes into pole position. He's on 5 laps old inters too. He can definitely go back into the pits as there's 5 minutes in this qualifying. Put on some fresh inters and go back out for a couple more laps.
Well, that's the scary thing, Brian. Is Apex has done that on 5 lap old intermediate, so he's definitely going to have another fresh set. And
Yeah.
if he gets back quickly, he'll be able to do 2 laps consecutively.
You get 3 laps of. You get 3 sets of inters. So he definitely has some tires. Here's more games who's coming around. 27.6. Wow, he had purple set there too, and it looks like he's going for another lap. He's only on 2 laps old inters, so.
Just back with McChicken at the minute in the Mercedes. Coming around 10:10. He's made another mistake and invalidated again. He can't get a clean lap in, Brian.
Yeah, Balloon Machine here is coming across the last corner. What is his time going to be? It's 28.8 to P6. Yeah, but McChicken really struggling here. Stanley, the championship leader, also hasn't been able to put a lap in.
Well, at this rate, Brian, he just needs to get himself a lap time on the board. Because it's certainly better than having no lap time at all. Obviously, he's trying to find the extra few tenths in the wet, but in doing so, he just keeps ruining every lap he he has at the moment. So just pulling back a little bit on this lap.
Yeah, Stanley had a bit of a lockup into turn one. Definitely not going to help him, but doesn't look like he kind of went wide a bit. 24-4. As Blend Machine has spun on this lap and has broken his wing. Chicken is right behind him too. So Chicken looks like he's going to get a bit of slipstream. Oh, never mind. Blend moves
Or
out
an
of the way.
inconvenience.
Yeah, but Michigan has managed to keep it in valid through the turns that he's always been invalidating, and that puts him into gives him a purple set there too. Goes a bit wide into that corner there. But we'll see what his time will be as he's coming around into the chicane for the final two corners.
And it looks like he's made it made it through a whole lap without invalidating this time, and does. So what's he going to set? Provisional pole with a 27.1. He waited to the very end. But
yeah, Chicken is a pretty quick driver. I must say I have raced against him. He's a pretty good driver, but it seems like he was struggling early on into the qualifying, but first lap on and goes provisional pole position.
looks like
is a 10th down on his lap, 10th up. Oh, and he invalidates on the last corner. Unlucky, and I think that will invalidate his next lap too. Yeah, it will.
It will. He has got enough time to get around again, as long as he has the fuel. So I think we're just waiting for everything to kick off at the end of qualifying here. A lot of drivers on their out laps and just starting their final flying laps. And of course, if you want to wait to the end of the session, especially with this rain that has been getting lighter, the best opportunity to get on top of the timing sheets on pole position or on the front row is right at the end of the session. Just watching Veloce come around turn 4.
Oops, sorry. my headset died, so I had to connect it for. So yeah, Veloce was the first person to set a lap in this qualifying. We'll see what he is. He's currently P6 with a 28.1, so he's about a second down on Chicken. He invalidates his lap. Oh, not what you want to see.
Oh, so Alpine got very, very close to the back of Veloce there. Got a little bit confident with the slipstream.
Yeah, but he's trying to get every little bit out of that lap, and it looks like he's working at it. As he has a purple set there too. We'll see what his time is going to be as he's into the chicane, taking it very carefully out of the last corner. See what he will have. Seems like it's going to be a pretty good time, and it's a 28.2 for P7.
Just seeing Apex Finley come around the final corner, Brian. He's got his 1:27.710 to beat, and does beat it. Does a 27.444.
Yeah, so just not quite beating Machicken there. Machicken has finished his qualifying, so he thinks they can't beat him. We have a Red Bull coming around the corner. It is Robin. What is his time going to be? And it's going to be a 29. It's going to be a 28.5. He stays in 9th position. Sorry, Stanley moves up into P6. And Alien, wow, very close to Machicken with a 27.156. We have Broomhandle here who is coming around the last corner. What is his time going to be?
Seems like fifth fastest. Yeah.
P5. You have the Ferrari of Buffet, if he hasn't validated. I think Seaswit is the next one to come around the corner, so we have a beautiful helicopter shot here. What is his time going to be? Seems like it's a pretty good time, and it's a 26.9. Wow.
Yeah, the pace of the track.
So far.
Yeah, the pace of the track
Fast
is
and free.
certainly ramped up. Veloce is setting another lap here, Brian. He might seal the show in the final moments of qualifying. He crosses the
He
line,
is.
goes fourth fastest.
Yeah, 27.3, but that was very close qualifying, I must say.
Yeah, especially for wet conditions and changing wet conditions as well.
Yeah, so there you have it. Everyone separate under 1 second up to P8 in the wet condition. That is very good. But Seaswit in the Aston Martin takes pole position. Chicken P2, Ellen P3, Veloce P4, Apex P5, Morgans P6, Broomhandle P7, Crooner P8, Stanley the championship leader in P9, and Robin runs off in top 10. So far the championship leader not getting the qualifying you exactly want to have, you know.
No, he hasn't. But of course, there's only points in the race, not in qualifying, and we don't know if it's going to be a dry race, Brian. Of course, because then they would have been put in there. You would think they would be putting their dry setups on, so potentially that could have decided the pace of qualifying. Looks like it is going to be dry, cloudy, but dry.
Yeah, it will. Looks like it will be drive. See what the drivers is go for the. Forgot it. But we'll see what the driver's strategy will be. I mean, I think it is the two-stop race, I believe. Haven't raced here in a bit, so.
Yeah, I would say it would be.
Yeah, I
Just
would
from
say
the
so.
fact of it's so hard to overtake here as well.
Yeah, so
Would be another big
we saw
reason.
Lewis Hamilton he went for the two-stop race, but also could be a one-stop. Maybe soft hards or even soft mediums or medium soft, depends. But here we have uh here we will have the tires in a bit. Seaswit, McChicken, and Elian go onto the mediums. Veloce on the hards. So and Apex also both go on the hards. More games, Broom Handle on the mediums, and Crooner on the soft, Stanley on the mediums, and Robin on the softs. So pretty only two drivers have opted for the soft here in Spain. I mean, there we have the tire strategy. So
It's
medium
definitely
one stop is definitely possible, but if you gone on the soft, looks like it will be a two stop. Ooh, and that is a ooh, and that is Brent who has spun. Ooh, that's not what you want to do on the
no,
formation lap. While
no,
having these tires, you definitely don't want to get them too worn out.
no. You definitely
And
don't
he
want
has
to,
spun again.
do that. And yeah, it's a really interesting mix-up with the tyres for the start of the race as well. We'll have
But
to
I
wait
guess
for
Brent,
yeah, you have to
I
wait
guess
for
Brent
Brent to
won't
catch
have
up.
to worry. He won't have to worry for he won't have to worry about some tire temps now. He won't have to worry about being too cold for the start. But um yeah, but that's going to kind of hold up the front pack a
Yeah,
bit.
it will. But I don't think the temperature does go down. I think it's just preset from when the AI takes over. Instead, just waiting for Brent, who did mess up at the start in this formation lap, to form up on the grid. We're going to get underway for round 8 of the Spanish Grand Prix. And we've got the
Blemish has left the
lights.
session.
Oh dear, we got 5 red lights, however. And we're away for LSR's Group 1 Spanish Grand Prix, and the Mercedes gets away quite well there in the Alfa Romeo just behind Elion. I'm going to get all over the place as well as we go down into turn 1. The two Mercedes are very close together. It looks like one's been spun around, which is Veloce Ayub, who's now down at the back of the field. And got more drivers on the outside there of Broomhandle, who's just taken to the extremities of the circuit there at turn 3. As it looks like he's
Yeah,
fighting with his teammate.
Couple driver have spun in. 3 drivers have spun into turn 1. Crooner, Verlash, and Stanley, the championship leader, has spun. So bit of a damage limitation so far right now for the championship leader. As the race is going, there is another spinner, and it looks like it is Brent. Oh wait,
it was more games. It was more games spun out at the far chicane in sector 2. Skewett is still in the lead, but McChicken is not that far behind in the top 3 and not separated by very much. Now there has been a driver that spun. It is Brent this time, Brian. You did call it, but just a little bit too early, as he's now around at turn 13, and he's round again at turn 14. Not good for the Haas driver there, getting himself sorted out.
There we go. I found what I wanted the graphics to have, the position changes.
McChicken is now around as well. Sorry, Brian. As he's now spun around. Everyone having trouble at turn 1. More Games is retired from the race, which is deployed the VSD.
Yeah, my graphic is a bit messed up right now. It is not telling me what it is, but I guess it is a VSC. But so far, wow, a lot of action into this race. Couple spinners. Some people into the pits. McChicken, who was P2, has spun. He's down 5 positions. But look at this. Suti in the AlphaTauri has been up 9 positions so far, so he's kept it clean. Perry here, also who's on the hards actually. He is on the mediums. Oh yeah, medium. Sorry. So he is on the mediums here. He's also 8 positions up. So pretty nice race so far for these two who are up into the pretty high. Alien into P2, and Siswick has maintained his lead.
Looks like the safety car is about to end, and it has. So a lot of the drivers
5-second penalty.
Is most definitely a rookie error there. Broomhandle moves himself up into 5th place. More Games leaves the session. Two tenths separate Perry and Apex Finley at the moment, Brian.
Yeah, so far he's very close. I mean, he's going to try and use the most he can out of these medium tires. Apex is on the hard, so Perry will have the better tire advantage for now. Looks like Apex will be going quite long to the start of the race, so we'll see how it goes and how fast can Perry get past. DRS is enabled for the McLaren of Perry, but he just couldn't quite get the overtake into the hairpin. But coming into the back here, Crooner is making a move on the Ferrari. He gets the move done. Wow, very nice by Crooner. Everybody's a bit spread apart. Suti is getting close on Broomhandle. He is within that 1 second. Right now, Veloce is trying to get back those positions that he lost after spinning into turn 1. It's very close on the Ferrari here in the main straight. He's going to try to make a move down the inside, and that's quite early. With the help of the DRS, so pretty nice move by Veloce.
Yeah, especially with that spin at the start of the race as well, to move himself back up to 8th already.
Yeah, can't say the same for Stanley, who is down 5 positions so far. So the championship leader is having So far, a race to forget.
Yeah, well, at the moment it's a pointless race.
So far, oh man, my graphic is messed up so far.
Yeah, mine's gone as well. We'll just have to live with it. We've got Alan, though, very close now to that Aston Martin ahead of him. Skew it.
Yeah, he definitely is. Looks like Alien is pushing a bit. So we have a spinner, and it looks like it is. Dream Machine has left the session again. It looks like we have Brent who has spun, and that's his win gone. Because Alien, who has gotten the fastest lap of the race on the medium tires, he's kind of pushing quite a bit to try and overtake Seaswit.
2 tenths separate
Could
the
be
top two
Seaswit
now.
is just kind of saving a bit of tires early into the race. Who knows?
As
That is Suti, who has spun. Oh no, has lost his right end plate. Oh man, he's having a great race so far. Unlucky for him coming back up to the top, as my graphic has fits itself. Luckily, Alien is very close to C-Swit, so is Apex. To Perry. Perry has actually overtaken Apex. Missed that somehow.
yeah, you've got past a couple of laps ago, but Apex has not left that DRS window since. Nor is
Yeah, I must say.
Alan.
Ooh, and that is a very dangerous position for the Haas to be in. Right on the racing line. Oh man. Like everyone is going wide. Yeah. Oh, now his car is gone, but a couple of drivers had to kind of go wide in order to avoid him. So both Haas already out of the race. And Alien very late into the brakes into that corner. It's definitely pushing a lot harder than Seaswit is. Or he just has the better pace, we'll see. Could be Seaswit is just trying to save tires, as he knows it will come back to him in later in the race. Spain is actually pretty hard on the tires here, especially the left front. Left front is screaming.
Yeah, and it's just it's a bit of a catch-22 as well. It's hard on the tyres, and it's really hard to overtake around here as well. So actually, this track does usually determine quite a few pit stops, just as an alternative solution to what other people are doing. But usually, everyone then just copies everyone else. So
here we have Kruner with DRS on the main straight. He's going to try to make a move on Broom around the outside. Can he get the move done? And he does. The Broom on the soft tires. Making a move on Broom. So it seems like the soft tires are still kind of hanging on there a little. But those soft tires shouldn't last. They're not going to last a bit more laps, maybe 2 more laps at most. I guess you can extend.
yeah, probably to about lap 10 would probably be the limit.
Yeah, so we should see some pit stop by the soft runners, so in a bit. But like you said, a lot of drivers do kind of copy the strategy from others, but that's not kind of what you want to do here, Kind of want to switch it up a little bit, since it's quite hard to overtake in this track. You gotta, if you can't get the move done on the track, then you gotta get it done in the strategies. But so far it looks like Alien he has the better pace, as he sets the fastest lap of the race. He just can't get that move done with the dirty air in this track.
No, it's all these long swooping corners that really cause the issues here. They're not broken up, unlike you might think of a track like Silverstone that also has long swooping corners, but it is broken up by some quite long straights. Is where Spain only has two straights and only one real significant straight. You've got this small little back straight here towards turns 7 and 8, and then the straight here between turn 9 and 10, second DRS, but it's not really much of a straight at all, really. Not enough in Formula 1 terms to really make a realistic overtake, I don't think.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're quite close into that straight before the hairpin, with help of DRS, you can definitely try to get alongside the driver, but it's mostly gonna have to come down to you basically just braking a lot later than the car in front. But yeah, so you're gonna get a
Looks like
penalty as we have
this,
Alien here with
yeah,
DRS.
looks like he's
Going
going
to
to go
finally
for
make
it.
the move.
And there was a aggressive defensive move there from the Aston, but he still maintains that lead for the time being.
Yeah, beautiful defense by the Aston Martin. Looks like he's now trying to get the inside line in here for this corner. The Aston Martin defending beautifully here to the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeo is trying to get around the outside, doesn't get a good exit. So the Aston Martin so far gets to keep his lead.
It's some really good racecraft going on there. It was definitely a hard but fair defensive move there from the Aston to skew it. But it was really good to see. Hopefully we'll see round 2 into turn 1 next time around, Brian.
Yeah, we're coming around the last couple of corners. We'll see if Alien can stick close to see what looks like he does. I believe you need to be within 5/10 of a second in order to be able to have a chance at overtaking here in the main straight. Like Seaswit, it's not really using much overtake here, as Seaswit has a bit of his lights are blinking, so it looks like he's definitely low on DRS, and I think Alien knows that, and he's going to probably try to use that against his advantage.
Of course, saying about a track like Spain, it's not very easy to overtake at. Somewhere like here, turn 5 hairpin, it's always a really good idea to go for maybe a bit of a opportunistic, sneaky move somewhere like that, just somewhere where you're not really going to expect them to have a go, but it's still possible to have a go. So you can actually see Skewett moving to the right hand side rather early there. It definitely looks like Elan's got a lot more pace under his right boot. He's just being held back at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like he's been sticking with Seaswit so far, and he's been setting the fastest lap while being in the dirty air. So it looks like he definitely does have pace. He is 6/10. He is seeing that blinking light of Seaswit. He's going to try to go for it as he's using overtake, but just backs out of it and thinks better.
I think he was good enough there to be on for a go, but he did think better of it. Of course, it is a fight for the lead, so much more on the line when going for a move. He might try and have a go here though, Brian, maybe. He's just a little bit closer this time. No, it doesn't have a go just yet, but
didn't get the exit that he would have wanted to out of turn 4. Coming here to this little chicane. Kind of want to keep the minimum speed up without going too wide to get as close as possible into this little straight that you talked about. But as you can see here, the dirty air is just quite a lot of dirty air, and you just can't get close enough in that little straight.
It needs to be it needs to be a few hundred meters longer to be any sort of realistic.
I mean, with the new track layout that they implemented into 2021, obviously the game still didn't add it, Codemasters. uh, kind of adds a little bit of a few meters, like you said, with taking the outer little. I guess you can say it's a little banked.
Oh, he's going to go for it this
As
time, Brian.
yeah, he's
As
gonna
he,
go into the inside once again, but Siswa defends beautifully once again.
I think he's. It's going to all be about those final few corners in sector 3 now for Elan. He's going to have to concentrate on those final 2 or 3 corners, which are really tricky to get right. Pretty much the hardest corners on the track, and the
Yeah,
most crucial
definitely that.
ones. The most crucial ones in the race to make an overtake.
Yeah, the last chicane also is it's quite a bit of a painful chicane there, I must say.
He is a bit
We're
closer this
really
time though, towards turn 10.
yes. Who makes a bit of a has a little bit of a look,
I
but
think
doesn't go for it. I think he thinks better of it. Just gonna try to go on the main straight.
I think he does need to.
Vlache is also very close on Broomhandle down the field. Looks like those hearts are starting to kind of come into play.
He's 3/10 this time though. Brian. Surely he'll get this done before the braking zone this time.
He definitely does, yeah.
And
So
that
there it
was
is. Elian has finally been able to overtake Siswe after 13 laps of trying to get past him. Now we'll see if he really does have the better pace and was just held back by Siswe.
that looks like it, 'cause he's already set himself as purple sector 1. The crucial for
Definitely, yeah.
him.
Vlache
Yeah,
has gotten past Broomhandle onto P5 now. Vlache, so far he's been having a pretty good recovery.
but the Aston is still within DRS range, Brian, of that Alfa Romeo in the lead now with Elan.
Yeah, I must say, Siswa was on a bit of the accelerator there on the curve and kind of made his car jump. But I must say, Siswa was a bit low on ERS as we were seeing. He had a blinking red light for pretty much quite a lot of time. So now that he is in the DRS, he can try to save some. He can try to save some ERS and try to go for it in a couple laps.
Vlache gets himself a 3-second time penalty there.
Yeah, definitely don't want to be doing that as you're trying to make up as much time as possible as you can.
Got about.
Everybody so far is pretty spread out except for Elian and Seasplit, who are 8 seconds in front of Perry, who's in P3.
Yeah, well, there could be some closing up between between third and fifth, and maybe third and sixth in the coming laps. Just how slightly bunched up those cars are. Those are the only ones that are actually with any real close distance. You said Stanley, the championship leader, is down in 10th, Brian, and he's banging himself a point as it stands.
Yeah, so far looks like Stanley will. Wait, actually, he does have a penalty. Hold on, let me check. He has a 3-second penalty in Blind Machine. Ooh, and that
As he
is Elian who is going into the pits for the undercut. So we will see how that works out.
Vlache looks like he's passed Apex Finley as well.
Yep, but you were talking about Stanley. He does have a 3-second penalty, so he needs to extend that gap to Blind Machine in order to get a point so far. But I mean, we're just 3 laps away from being halfway into the race, so still quite a bit of time into this. As you can see there, Elian has gone onto the hard, so he will be going for the 1-stop. Yeah, we'll see. He's going for the undercut, so he's going to try and see if he can still keep the lead on Siswa. Siswa's going for the overcuts to try and
got a yellow.
have the better tires. do have yellow, and that is the Ferrari of Fedora, who had a bit of a moment. Ooh, and we have a bit of a moment up in front with Robin. Has spun. Now Stanley will get a point if it stands like this. C-Swift into the pits, so we will see where he comes out. Alien didn't have traffic in his way on his outlap, so we'll see what the strategy will be.
Secret is coming out of the pit.
Looks like
Elon,
Alien will get the.
yeah, oh, maybe not.
Oh, maybe not. C-Swift actually gets the overcuts on Alien. Wow. So C-Swift back into the lead with a lap fresher tire. Sorry.
I'm surprised about that as well, because Alien came out with into clean air when he pitted, so he didn't have any traffic to deal with. It was the perfect window for him to come out, but obviously that is surprising.
Yeah, it looked like those hard tires just didn't get up to temperature. They didn't get up to temperature too quick. There for Alien, but Balloon Machine sets the fastest lap of the race and has been disconnected once again from the lobby.
The one thing I must say, Brian, is Veloce and Apex Painting are actually on the hard tyres, aren't they? It's going to be interesting to see of what these two can do, if they're going to try and stretch it to go on to the softs potentially at the end, because they'll certainly be very fast if that's the case.
It look like they should be pitting about 16 laps to go. Ooh, and C-Swift makes a bit of a mistake there out of turn 2. What is this? Looks like Alien is gonna try to make a move. He's gonna try to go for the switchback down the inside. He's going to have the outside line here for the hairpin of turn 5. He just couldn't get the nose in. So C-Swift still keeps his lead.
Yeah, his net lead, as he's the first driver to be on track with that pit stop. But instead about Alien, he's very, very close to the back, and he must have been quite surprised as well that he didn't come out ahead. But obviously the mediums were still the optimal tyre to be on. Just seeing that gap close up at the front as well by Brian between Perry and Veloce Ayub. It looks like it might be time for Perry to come into the pit as we lose the timing screen, but Veloce is getting ever closer to the McLaren ahead.
Yeah, so Perry is trying to stay out to kind of extend his lead, as Alien is going to try to make a move. Yes, he does make the move in the straight into before turn 1. But like we were talking, looks like Perry has only 7 seconds in front of Alien right now. He will still come out behind Alien, but he will have the fresher tires towards the end of the race, so we'll see if he can make it up. There we have the fastest lap so far from one. So I'll leave you for a minute here. I'm gonna get a bit of water. Forgot to get water before the race started. My throat is kind of getting dry.
No worries. Veloce Ayub is now only 1 second behind the McLaren of Perry, not inside the DRS window though. But Stewart is within that DRS window. And Alien gets the fastest lap. We're now on lap 19, a 33. As we come down into turn 1 between the two net leaders. As I was quite a big lift there from the Aston, zeroed on board. Just showing how much the dirty air is affecting these drivers. Got a yellow flag in sector 2. It looks like Zoet is off the track in the Alpha Tauri. Top 2 is now within DRS of one another, or Veloce is in DRS of Perry ahead. Looks like it's time for the McLaren to come in and put a fresh set of boots on. Apex Finley has not been able to keep with the Mercedes Veloce ahead of him, both on the same strategy. As Perry stays out, surely he's going to lose his lead in the not too distant future. Veloce was somewhat looking to the inside there. As Veloce should have miles more grip now than Perry on the mediums. The top 2 are separated within half a second of each other now. This straight, not long enough though for Veloce to go for an overtake there at turn 10, but essentially will do into turn 1. But I got a sneaking suspicion Perry will dive in either this lap or the next lap. Does he just stay out again?
I'm back. Ooh, looks like I missed a bit of an overtake here on between C-Swit and a Lion.
Just watching the top 2, seeing how they were getting on. It doesn't look like Perry's going to be giving up that first place anytime soon.
Definitely not. He's going quite long on these mediums, if I'm honest. So looks like he might be trying to go on to the softs towards the end, as we do have a purple set of
yellow flag
set there too, as that Suti. Yeah, has spun. But yeah, like we were saying, Perry is going quite long into this race, so he's going to try to go for one stop on medium soft. Looks like I mean, if there is a safety car,
yeah, he's
or something, he will definitely gain quite a lot.
Yeah, he'll be laughing, that's for sure.
Definitely, but
as he now does dive into the pit.
The Lion has fallen out of the DRS zone out of C-Swit. He does have a 3-second penalty. Where did he get that from? Wow, I missed a lot for getting water. Oh man.
He does get onto the soft tyres, Brian. Sorry, I was just looking at the front too for the time you were gone.
Ooh,
you weren't gone for.
That is Suti, who has retired.
Oh, that could cause a safety car.
Oh,
Perry went in at the worst time. Yeah, Perry went in at the worst time there, because everyone is now going to pit. I suppose he will jump up the order again, potentially. We'll see where he does come out.
He might. Oh,
but Veloce, who've been Apex Finley, they are laughing. The starting on the hard time is now certainly paid off for their race.
Oh man. Perry has got to be fuming right now. Oh man, but I mean, he might be able to jump back a couple. I think
he will. I think he'll probably come out in second or third, which should still be a really good result. He's just coming around turn 9. Whereas Veloce, he's in the final couple of corners. Final. Yeah,
So this
He'll,
means that Veloce will be basically into the lead of the race
well,
after being taken out into turn one.
It'll be silly if drivers, if not all drivers, don't pit here. It'll be a bit silly.
Yeah, it
Just
definitely
with
looks like
how
a
many laps
very
are to go.
terrible opening.
Yeah, it looks like it. So, Veloce, I think, is going to come out in the net lead. I think is where is Perry? He's coming around the final corner, but
Perry is on the straight.
he has got to lift off, and now Veloce is out of the pit lane and obviously up to the safety car line too. He can go as fast as he wants. There's Apex Finley. That's a fight between the two of them. Oh, and who's going to have that? I think Apex I think they're going to fight for this position now until I think it's
looks like
Apex
has gotten it. Yeah.
So still not bad for Perry though, to be honest.
Definitely not. I mean, he was 8 seconds behind the leaders before the pit stop, but definitely it's not too happy.
But I have to be honest, Brian. The two drivers at the front of the grid are drivers from my league who have just been drafted in tonight to reserve. So might have a little bit of bias. Bias. How do you say that word? You pass it on to me now, not being able to say words. A biasy? Is that right? That doesn't sound right. It sounds right, but it doesn't sound right. Yeah, it's just bias, isn't it? It's getting late on a Sunday. I'm not used to being up this late on a Sunday night. I usually have work early on a Monday morning, but got a week off. So, so it's two drivers from my Monday, one of my 3 leagues on a Monday, and obviously streaming on my channel. Make sure to check that out tomorrow, guys. That's the Azerbaijan Grand Prix for Monday's the this one. But I think we're going to have another lap of this, Brian, I think, before we get underway.
Seems to be another lap of Perry here. I mean, I must say, I mean, it's happened to me before. I think it's happened to everyone. But, I mean, he's still P3. He does have a 3-second penalty, so, and Apex does not. So, Apex, so far, is technically net P1.
Yeah, as it stands, but obviously we still have a little way to go. So it could all change. We've definitely got a few drivers who do need to catch up. We were saying before, Brian, with this race not being the greatest for overtaking, this has certainly made the latter stages of this race much more interesting than it may have been without this.
What do you say, sir? Couldn't hear you.
I said that, as we said before, about the overtaking not being great here. The race having a safety car at the end is definitely spiced it up.
It's Veloce who has gone off track.
I think he's trying to get himself back through, but I don't think it's not how it works, my friend. You are going to try it, but unfortunately, that is not how it works. Apex Finley is now in the net lead. That was the easiest overtake he's going to make today.
So Apex was in the net lead before. He is definitely now into the lead now. So definitely makes the work less for Perry. Oh, but look at this. Veloci has rejoined right behind C-Switch, but in front of Elian.
This was a late call for the safety car. Everyone caught up at the end, and that means the bottom driver
has been a bit of contact with C-Switch. Yup, so there's 5-second penalty for both of these drivers. Oh man.
And I think Veloce is quite eager to get away after that mishap. It is a Aston 1-3 at the moment, and we are away. There was drivers in the background. Brian, you had an instant there. It was Elan.
That is Elian.
And Veloce gets himself another 5-second time penalty for a severe collision. He's alongside Crooner as Perry's round, and now down
Perry has also gone round.
in
Ooh,
11th place.
it is Austin. This is an Austin Martin 1-2 right now. Wow, this race has definitely. Oh man,
It's been turned on his head.
really? Yeah. Vlache has caused a bit of trouble here. Oh my God! As Crooner has to get a bit of a, has to kind of avoid Vlache here. Vlache is trying to get that first position once again after spinning, but he's not done any favor to himself by giving him 10 seconds penalty.
Yeah, and just was watching Skewett getting a bit getting a bit out of shape through turn 9. I was going to say something really clever there, and it all messed up. But he's saying Aston Martin 1-2 at the moment. Just looking at the penalties, it's 5 seconds, but McChicken behind's got 11 seconds, and Veloce's got 19 seconds worth of penalties. He has not been on it his usual form this evening.
Yeah, so this definitely has brought up the grid together and shaken it up quite a bit here. We'll see what if any more action goes on. I mean, so far it's an Austin Martin 1-2, as I think Caesar does have a 5-second penalty. Let's check the penalties. Yeah, so he has a 5-second penalty, which I think should be removed, as he wasn't in fault for that one. So if he does overtake his teammate, he could win the race here, as Veloce gets another penalty. Wow, it's already up to 22 seconds of penalty. Definitely don't want to be doing that. Chicken. Let me see what. Chicken has 11 seconds as penalty, so don't know if those could be removed or not, but it's essentially a fight until the end.
The timing charts have been all over the place all race. Just tell me Flanchao's got the fastest lap, about 25 seconds after he completed his 26th lap. So yeah, Apex is looking in a really comfortable position on that 27. But with the penalties as it stands, Broomhandle is looking like he's in a really good position actually. With 6th place with no penalties, and if those drivers all stay bunched up ahead of him, he's definitely on for a potential podium here.
Yeah, Broomhandle has kept it clean so far, so we'll see. I mean, he's definitely he is close. So far right now, I mean, he could be right up to
Stanley's off the track. Yeah, he tried the overtake there. I think.
Yeah.
I think he just broke too late.
P5 right now. But he is within 4 seconds to Crooner, so looks like he will be. Oh my God, wait, what?
Yeah, it's been.
My graphic is
all over the shot.
Okay, so never mind. Broomhandle is in P6, not P5. The pack is very close so far, so we'll see what he can do. Broomhandle keeps this up, he definitely will be up into podium. Maybe not get seized with, but we'll see. We're on lap 20 of 33. definitely felt like a very long race so far.
Yeah, well, as you keep saying, it comes down to that argument of the difficulty to overtake here. It does somewhat spoil the action of the race in its vein. And of course, in real life as well, it's because they do so much testing here that they just know this place like the back of their hand.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they come here to test almost. They've been coming here to Spain to test for years.
Years.
Obviously, last season they didn't come into Spain because of COVID, but they've been going into here to Spain for testing for years. So you were right. I mean, they kind of know this track like the back of their hand, which makes overtaking not easier as Veloce gets another penalty. It's up to 28 seconds of penalty.
Yeah, he's in disqualification territory now. He's getting very close to that.
Yeah, I think if he gets another penalty, he will be disqualified. With the two Mercedes here, I kind of scrapping it out as Veloci's gonna try to make a move on McChicken.
And McChicken went very. He determined his own track layout there, McChicken a little bit by cutting over the turn 2 apex.
Veloci's now into the last place for me. I mean, that's kind of where it looks like he will be kind of ending if he gets more penalties.
That's Veloce. Yeah, he's ghosted at the back of the grid.
Yeah, he's on the back of the grid for me.
I think that's the timing screens being.
Front has been in the gearbox of his teammates. So remember, Seaswood did get a 5-second penalty from Veloce, who hit him under the safety car. So
you may get that removed.
Right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, they are both teammates, so they're not going to try to battle too much and lose out on a 1-2. But Apex has kept Seaswood behind for quite a bit. Now Apex does have quite a lot more ERS than Seaswood does. You can definitely kind of push on the last 2 laps of the race.
So the fight for the win, Brian, is going to be very interesting. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see where Broomhandle comes as well, of course.
Yeah, Broomhandle has still kept it clean, so.
Yeah. And of course, that's why it's always good to try and keep it as clean as possible, because you never know. You might create the gap that's big enough to hold your position, but there's always the worry about safety cars.
I must say right now, Kruner being in the DRS of Chicken, well, they're now fighting. Ooh, and Seaswood gets a penalty. Ooh, that's not what he wants.
Yeah, and he won't get that one removed.
Nope, that one would not get removed, so he kind of threw his chances away from winning, unless Apex does a big mistake and loses out on 3 seconds. Broomhandle here is 7.4 seconds behind Kruner, so far it doesn't look like he will be on the podium.
It's Kruner is often in the wall.
Oh, and Kruner has spun it, so never mind. Broomhandle looks like to be back in the position to be in the podium. Wow. Oh man. Looks like Kroner's just letting everyone pass. There's no point in kind of fighting it with damage, as he now takes himself out of the race, out of frustration. Coming back up to the top, C-Swit is
Yeah, he's
going
going to
to
go
try
for
to
it.
win it on track.
Okay,
Oh, he pushes
pushes
his
it
teammate
over.
off track.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Veloce
pushes
is
his
going to
teammate
get
off track, so his
involved.
team is definitely not going to be happy about the McChicken behind them. Boom, never mind, Veloce was ghosted.
Oh,
Oh,
and he's now round because obviously he thought
and
he was in the fight. It's a bit of a ghosting glitch, I think.
yeah, definitely. So he's definitely now into last place. Or not into last place yet, but kind of will be with those penalties. But C-Swit is going to try to win it on track. He still has not yet been able to. Oh, and his
Oh, and
teammate gets a
Apex is
bit.
almost round.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they're going to now fight into turn 10. They're going to go side by side here, probably for the last few corners.
and C-Swit is
Oh,
into
it's
the
gone
lead.
wide.
Apex is going. Apex is going to try to do the switchback. Doesn't really get it.
This has
And
been a
going
very
to watch.
exciting last lap.
Oh my God, these two teammates really going for it.
And McChicken is sneaking himself into the fight at the final moments, and Apex Finlay wins
Yeah,
the
but
Spanish
Apex
Grand
wins
Prix.
it.
And where's
Broom
Broomhandle going to
handle.
come?
Here looks like he will get that podium, and
Third
he does.
place.
Third
Third
place. Wow.
place for Jonah.
We have Stanley, the championship leader, who I don't think is going to be in the championship lead after that. Is in P6. Finishes P6. Oh wait, no, his teammate actually goes ahead of him on penalties. Elian, who's having an amazing race on the front for the basically the entirety of the race, and then got unlucky there with Veloce. I think spun him around. And Perry and Elian are kind of having a bit of a Ferrari in Indianapolis finish. It looks like we're waiting for Veloce to come around and finish the race, but what do you think of that race?
It was a bit of a typical uh, Spanish Grand Prix up until the end. The end was probably the best part of the race after the safety car. Got quite interesting. It's good for the Aston Martin to 1-2. Bagging themselves 4 points. Who got the fastest lap? Veloci, I hope. You there, Brian?
Yeah, so Veloce has finished finally. Seems like there's a bit of a glitch as he's still going.
Yeah,
Oh man.
I think that's leave the session time.
Yeah, but like you said, Apex has won after quite a bit of a chaotic end to that race.
Yeah, well, obviously you're not going to be back for another fortnight now till the week on Saturday. So I'm not sure what that race is. Anyway, I'm going to be off as it's quite late here in the UK now.
Yep.
It's
See
a
ya.
Sunday. So anyway, yeah, thanks everyone who tuned in for my channel, Limitless Gaming Esports. Make sure to check out tomorrow's stream for Monday's Limitless one at LFR. I will put the link in the description for LSR's Group 1 race tonight in the description. Make sure to subscribe to their channel. Anyway, cheers, guys.